also love to see and hear from you guys. So we're going to the draft here for game number game number 1 of Team Max versus Zeta Division.
All right. So one thing we have to look out for the Zeta Division drafts is that, first off, whatever Kanye and Katsu end up with, they like to be crafty with their heroes. They have great skill timings and decision making to disrupt their opponents. So picks that can shine with that. If they're great with a Grok, they can also get crafty with Farsas and Eve. So we need to watch out for that from them. But most importantly, for Zeta Division, is that I feel like Team Max can, Zeta Division, they love the powerful EXP laners and roam picks that feed off of being hyper aggressive with great damage, and equally so, Team Max can draft that way. Pick up a Hilda, pick up a Grok, pick up the Yuzhong. Something that will tell Zeta Division, hey, not gonna allow you to play your game. They don't think that Hilda is something that they want a priority pick right away, so it makes sense to take that away from Zeta Division. While Zeta, as we mentioned, Grok could be something that could really counter their playstyle, gets banned out by them.
I love that literally almost all the heroes you mentioned got banned out right away.
Yes, sir.
That's just how it is, right? Which is a very good indicator for me that Zeta Division has actually probably scrimped against teams of this caliber before. Because these are picks that can really steamroller you. They caught by surprise.
I like that they even consider the Angela. Though I'm not the biggest fan of Angela getting taken out of the first phase of the draft, because I feel like you're going to be giving up so much. At the same time, knowing that what kind of team that Zeta Division is, well, it makes sense why they'd want to take that out. They're a much younger team. They don't like going up against a fast tempo scaling opponents. That's why they want to go safe. They pick up a Baksha. Very Japanese. If you go back to the M1 World Championship, it was the Baksha pick that the Japanese team at that time utilized against a squad called Onyx Philippines in the heyday of the VY's tandem, and it was countered. The healing that they love to pick up for Venus was countered by a Baksha pickup, and Zeta Division continues the legacy of that hero for the region. So Team Max, as we mentioned, or for Zeta Division, they like to get crafty around their roam mid duo. I think we're actually seeing a Baksha roam here, but this could still get flexed into the jungle, while the craftiness that we talked about for Katsu is there. So I like that immediately, even just in the first phase, they already showed a Cho for Team Max, because that allows them to be aggressive in terms of getting vision, and now you have someone who can force out the Purify away from the Farsa.
Katsu, man, just making me hungry today right now.
Same.
11:52. Bro, I want some Katsu right now. The food, not the player. But yes, 100%. This lineup feels like it can really take a beating. But what's the main damage source for a lineup like this? You gotta go traditional marksman, right?
Shred would be really great here. Interestingly enough, Granger can go well for both of them, but I'd like to see Granger more for Zeta and like typical Shred for Team Max. I think Zeta also should not sleep on potentially banning out the Lunox on their side, or maybe even... Oh no, CC's gone. Oh, so Lunox is already gone. Okay, so they don't have to worry about that. Esma's already gone, so I think Carry is going to be an alright ban here for Zeta, but they might not even think about that, considering that there's a Farsa. They might even consider more of like a Moskov ban if they're not planning to get it for Red 4, because you don't see their gold laner just yet. And that's something that they like to play, wherein if they're not going to win the early, Zeta Division are more than willing to play aggressive 4-1 split, leaving Muy Minette alone to farm up and catch up, while the four members of the team are just controlling their opponents to try and minimize the lead and draw attention away from the split pushing gold laner. I think Moskov would be great for them.
Yeah, Moskov 100%. And I think the Moskov is great just because you could also do a split push. You brought that up, right? But maybe for an earlier to mid, more dominant phasing or laning or team fighting, maybe Zeta Division would like that Granger and could possibly get banned out here. So that might force them into a more off-meta gold lane marksman. So let's see if they're going to do that. Team Max obviously has more to take care of, not just the gold lane, and decides to block out the Gatot Gacha. Interesting.
Yeah. If they got that Gacha's banned out, there's a chance that the Harith might be the option here for Max. They're playing very close range, but they're fine with it, I guess. Considering that they're playing around the Eve, and then the Zaman Force can be brought down under the real-world manipulation. Stack those up two together for devastating impact up against Zeta Division's lineup. Although, I would like to see more usual basic attack damage from them. They're hovering a Popol and Koopa, but it's not going to get picked. Here comes a Fanny in the jungle for 10. And let's see if he can have a perfect 10 performance for it. But they're willing to play the Fanny despite seeing the Cho already. They could get messed up here if Max decides to surprise and then bring in a high loss also. Maybe even a Badang. Put the Cho in a different spot if they can. But if not, then the Cho should be more than enough problems to pose for it.
You know what? They're going fighter anyway. They're doing a fighter gold. I'm not even super convinced that this is gonna go gold. This could actually go roam still and swap it out, right?
Yeah. Still though, this is so aggro. Team Max, though, we don't see like a clear marksman for them. They're playing. Their goal is to just straight up bully Zeta Division right now. This Fanny's not going to have an easy time. The Uranus doesn't have crowd control. 1-1 is a pick that they showed off in their own M7 qualifiers. But yeah, I think it might be best to go fighter. X-Borg would be perfect here. You counter the Ruby. You have access to the formation of the Eve. But they still go for the 1-1.
Whoa. Okay.
This could be a really, really tough game for Zeta Division. But if Team Max are a little bit too hell-bent and like disrupting Zeta, showing them that, you know, they're the more experienced team, just trying to bullet them in the game, there is a chance Zeta could turn it around, but it's going to be a slow turnaround. It's not going to be sudden unless we see a star-making performance from 10 that will just garner a lot of clips.
I know one content creator has a little bit of an extra Z in the middle in the end, so maybe that can get some clips. But yes, this time around, you're absolutely right, Renmar. This is such a late game comp that'll take a long time to actually get going. And in the interim, while they're trying to do that, it leaves so much opening to get caught by surprise. So whatever Zeta Division's planning here, they better do it quick, because right now we are going to game number 1 here for Team Max and Zeta Division. Again, just has so many options to go around it. The Cho is going on the roam. And here we go. We are back here. Games of the Future 2025 live in Abu Dhabi. So Rockhart and Renmar on the mic. And we're going to go ahead and get this game started. So Team Max on the blue side and Zeta Division on the red side.
Nope. Trying to see here how aggressive they're going to take the limit here of this Cho and even the center, considering they're up against a Farsa. Already forced out their Revitalize, and exactly how we expected it to start. Of course, that's just the center of the river, so let's see if that'll translate later on at around maybe post Turtle 1, if Cypher will then turn his attention towards rotating into the jungle of Zeta Division.
That's true, and rotating to that one might be tricky as well, because of course you're gonna face a Baksha, right? So that's gonna be crazy. And that Baksha right now is getting pummeled quite heavily, and I think we're seeing the exact reason, why the Eve is such a high priority hero, especially in the past few weeks.
Yeah, hotly contested, although we don't get to see a lot of it banned out or even picked in the Philippines. In the rest of the world, everyone else just makes really good use of the Eve. Void Blast, especially with how quickly the cooldown is, or how quick the cooldown is, excuse me. And the fact that it does get more shields, a little bit more sustainable as well. Eve is just a really, really great pick. In other regions, especially in Indonesia, very first pick worthy. So no surprise, as you mentioned as well, the Baksha is having difficulty there. In terms of the damage output getting dished out over a period of time, Eve will trump the Farsa in this portion of the game.
Yeah, and speaking of the Farsa, look at that. Being hunted down by Cypher kind of forces a response here from 10, which will be cut into half with just one Formed Rose. Beautifully placed there by Sakzu.
Yeah.
Now, this might be a bit of a harder contest here. Now, even his purple buff getting friends. Cypher is doing a lot of work.
Ooh.
Even forcing out the feathered airstrike. That's a little crazy. Here comes Bimo the key. He's laying down the real world and it's helping Sakzu rather, get that turtle. And now, it's going to be June looking to make something happen, but it's a no-go. It's going to be Team Max ahead in that exchange.
Yeah, just as what we expected, Team Max utilizing the Cho Roam as a means to really stop any tempo at whatsoever for Zeta Division to be brought out. June 1 is going to be able to survive this, even though the final slash was forced and June 1 took a hit from the turret. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a Uranus at this portion of the game. Arlott in the early game is not going to be able to take that out yet, but Kani gets kicked.
Oh boy, look at that. Another one being forced on the feathered airstrike that with targets not even within range. And again, another beautiful pickoff being done here by Cypher. And mind you, that wasn't even the perfect angle, right? That was like a lateral angle, I don't know, horizontal angle, and they still got the kill.
Yeah, it wasn't the easiest approach, but they were still able to get it. 10. If he just had a little bit more items, I know it's like 3.5 minutes into the game, he definitely could have gotten like a solid double kill under the turret in the mid, but he doesn't have the items just yet. It is going to take quite some time. Right now, one of the saving graces for Zeta Division is that Team Max has put so much focus in the center of the map, in the river, in the jungle of 10, that yes, they're stopping the Fanny, but they're not really doing anything to stop the progress of Moiminet's 1-1. And again, we mentioned earlier in our own personal scouting report, Zeta Division, they're more than willing to split attention away from Moiminet just so that he can farm up and then suddenly be the win condition that was left unchecked by their opponents. The good thing for Team Max is, though, that they can still keep this up maybe like 4 or 5 minutes even of just continuous invading the jungle, that at that point, the 1-1 would have already lost the turret. If Team Max rotated, see, even with a full blast combo, Lei brought Moiminet down really quickly.
Again, forcing so many of these skills. There you go. That is a lot better there. Cypher, easy pickup on the Katsu. And here we go with 10 trying to get stuff done. Finally gets that kill onto Ares there. But only be a 1-for-1.
Yeah, good call that he didn't commit the cutthroat to try and finish off the kill onto Cypher. Would have gotten the kill, but would have lost himself. And at this point, they need objectives. They need this turtle to expedite the gold process for them a little bit more, because Team Max is slowly climbing up, or has climbed up already to like a 2,000 gold lead. And if the gap doesn't get closed, it's going to be bad for them. Good use of the burst onto Bimo.
Yeah, huge burst. Look at that. Cypher's just going non-stop, even catching it up. Oh, almost taking out the Fanny as well. I think just misses out on one more swing of the lance there by the Arlott. It looks so good.
I thought that final slash would connect, but it was just slightly out of range. So see, despite Team Max being aggressive here, they're not being overly aggressive. You can still see the semblance of really just trying to control the minion waves, making sure that they aren't forgetting their management of the lanes. And Zeta Division, right now, it's not so easy for them to find an opening for a turnaround.
Yeah, this is massive respect being given by Team Max for sure. They're not going overly ham, knowing that, you know what, we can just take it, just pinch out some damage, one pick off here and there, they'll still have pretty good advantage. Again, they are not taking out Moiminet, but I think they're still going the right direction.
Sadly, I think that Feathered Airstrike by Katsu could have done more damage, but he decided to use it a little bit more far back than I thought he would. I thought he'd take a few more steps forward, use the Feathered Airstrike. That could have been 2, maybe even 3 pops to secure the kill, but he decided to play it safe.
Playing it safe, I guess, is what they're trying to do, trying to prolong the game as much as they can. But Moiminet, the main target here for Team Max, finally falls. Connie gonna get caught up in the real world and just so hard to move, especially with a Ruby in front of you. Good maximization. Is that a thing? Maximizing of Team Max here with the use of the real world, but the re-engage doesn't look as clean. But taking out 10s actually is the big bonus they were all looking for, and now they can actually run up on the mid.
So everything that we talked about for Team Max, their conditions, it did eventually happen, although I don't know what Muiminet was doing there at the center. I know he wanted to get some hits, maybe get a few minions down, but at this point, you cannot afford to go down. And the fact that you went down so easily there, seems like there was a miscommunication in terms of whether or not they were ready for that Muiminet would be staying forward, whether he himself underestimated what Team Max can do to him, thinking, oh, I'll be safe because I have needles and flowers. It wasn't. He was not safe.
Yeah, really was not safe. Now, even with all that, I feel like they still have some bite, right? Like, I mean, the ZETA Division still got some bite here, despite losing out on a few skirmishes. Although they are behind by almost 4,000 here, so that's not a good sign to be in. And now they're gonna get invaded. All of Team Max are deciding to go full throttle, and they're gonna go ahead and invade around this, and just massive AoE compressed targets are actually gonna get demolished here for ZETA Division. Team Max with a wipeout.
As we expected from this kind of lineup from Team Max, aggression, the lead, the confidence, the absolute brutality of their combo under the real-world manipulation of the Eve, with the I'm Offended, with the final slash of the Arlot, so much displacement, and Zaxu has been left undisturbed that he single-handedly bursted Katsu down, who was under his second turret, well behind the purple buff, yet he still got popped.
Yeah, you're getting popped here at the same time as well, so here we go with another big re-engage. ZETA Division said, you know what, maybe they might be in recovery mode. Let's try to take advantage, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. But look at the sustain coming in from Lei. Just so hard to deal with this guy right now. And again, the big pull-in, and there's just nowhere to go for them. Man, this is a huge stonks. No one even fell on Team Max's side. And Lei 8-0 on the Ruby is just going crazy right now.
Perfect Ruby game. Everything is lined up perfectly for them. It's so easy to punish all of the engagements ZETA Division wants and Team Max wants to end.
Yeah, there's just no way that they can end right now. Maybe with the feathered airstrike, but they are target locked and they are roaring and itching to finish it. One more hit could have taken it, but the minions are just not there and they're gone. But also is Katsu, so that might be the clear that was needed by ZETA Division. Gone out the window. No. King Ares misses with the flourish on the flicker final slash, and for some reason, it's just prolonging the game for just a few more seconds. It's Team Max with game number 1.
Well, ZETA Division were holding the minions from outside of the range of the base turret there in the end very well. You even see a little bit of laughs there from the side of Team Max pointing towards King Ares. Like, we saw that. We saw the flicker final splash, bro. But at the end of the day, they got the job done. And just as we expected with the lineup that they decided to field, really high chance of a very aggressive bully style of MLBB to show up when you pick up a roam Cho like that. Again, picking up the Fanny into the Cho just was not it. They did not have the time that they could have bought in for their 1-1. Muiminet going down in mid incredibly could have been avoided. It was so unnecessary that he got his first death in that fashion in the mid when they were keeping things relatively close. And then, well, the Farsa was just left open a lot of the times. They were lacking the control. They decided to play the double revitalize, and all that healing is not going to be enough if the opposing team just got the snowball very quickly. The gold lane Ruby had 11 kills, 0 deaths, 7 assists, and ended it with 9,500 in gold. So everything just went along